Hi. I gotta blow my nose occasionally. My allergies are acting up. Something's growing all over LA. I gotta wash my mug. All right, everybody. Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, greatest screenwriter in the history of the world, recovering hobo, setting out my clothes to iron. They've been setting out all day yesterday because I was out by LAX for a writers conference. It was really cool. I loved being able to take the bus and the metro over. Um, I think that's awesome. Like, think if there were no buses or metro, everybody would have to freaking walk or get an Uber or Lyft or buy a car, rent a car. And being on a bus and seeing how much traffic is backed up, whereas there's at any given time, I mean, most of the time on the bus, there were like over a dozen people. There were people getting on at stops and off. Like, there's so many people getting through here on this thing, and it's so much better for the environment and better, like, for the use of space. And I just like being connected to people and seeing people on the bus. Believe it or not, there are people who enjoy being on the bus. I see friends there talking. Uh, People like clearly have different things to get to. Some once in a while, yeah, it's just somebody acting a little weird. But actually, for the most part, the bus is pretty laid back. The metro, that can get a little dicier. I have seen some more wild stuff on there, and it's sad. And I wish we could just get everybody housed because for a lot of people, it just becomes a de facto shelter. Excuse me. And also having good public transportation, great for rights of the disabled. There was a guy on a wheelchair, got on there, was joking around with the bus driver, and the bus driver helped him off. It's like, this is great. Why can't we have more of this? I even rode my bike first to the metro stop, locked it up at a secured bike parking facility. We can actually have that. It can be a civilized world we live in. And because to me, that's civilization is when you can lock your bike and leave it and be like pretty secure in knowing it's not going to get stolen. Like it's in a secured, locked building. There's not much of that in LA, but there is some. There are metro bike hubs. You can get a subscription for $60 a year, which is freaking amazing. I've literally paid like $50 one night to valet park my car in DC so my mom and I could like walk a mile to go see like Tim and Eric perform because there was like no parking anywhere closer. And also it was dumb of me. I was like, why didn't I just take the metro? Or like I could have parked at the metro and then we metroed over. As I got older, like we did that. We went to DC once, at least once, and just took the metro there because I realized like there's no point in trying to make this work. And this is before I really got into urbanism and urban design, or what do I call it? Or, yeah, urban design and transit and all that. and there seems to be a big movement for it here in LA. But it was awesome. Like I love being able to do that, be connected to the city. The writers' conference was really cool. Went too quickly. Felt like it all went by like a dream. I was a little bit tired towards the end of it, and I fell asleep in my chair briefly. And I dreamed that I had already written like a Ghostbusters parody where Pete Venkman's name, I changed it to Pete Stankman. So I literally wrote in my sleep. Excuse me. Oh, yo, what's up, FOT fans and Moist Andy? Congratulations on my first promo. We were so proud of you. My first promo? I'm not sure what you mean, but cool. Thanks. Moist Andy says it's unfair. Some people come to work with stinky clothes. Yeah, that really sucks. People should be mindful of their hygiene. We need like in school, they have like civics education classes. They need to have stuff that teaches like the basics of how to get along with your coworkers, like courtesy flush. Don't shit in the toilet and just let your shit stink up the whole, bathroom for hours. Flush as you go. I'm not saying like every single turd, but like when it piles up in there, flush it so it doesn't stink up the place. And what else? Oh yeah, they should have classes on using public transportation for real. Like they should just teach that a little bit, like urban design and stuff. And like in my high school, all I remember is they were teaching some driver's ed stuff. We didn't actually like drive in a car. For real, like I saw on Univision News, because I watch Spanish language news to work on my Spanish. It's like pretty good, but I'm not fluent. I'm surprised at how much I'm able to pick up in Spanish. And Obaso, yo, I remember you. Been a while months since I've been live. I wanted to go live from the bus stop at LAX yesterday, but then the bus came. It was so cool. I was so excited. I was just thinking, man, like I would love to just take the bus all over LA and the metro. And it's great. And just like stop randomly somewhere and get off and like eat and then go somewhere else. Of course, I don't want to spend a ton of money. I've spent way too much money on eating out and all that stuff. So, doing a lot. I was cutting on my diet for a while, which went really well. And then I just felt it. I'm like, man, I got to refeed myself. So then I started bulking up. Clean bulk. I'm not adding a bunch of junk to my diet. And I'm surprised. I'm like, first of all, I have so much more energy. I was like really lean. Like I have a 6-pack. Now it's like filling in a little bit. But like my muscles are filling out much better. I feel better when I sleep. Because when you're cutting, you're lightheaded. Like I'm like still very active physically, but I'm trying to, be very lean and then bulk up. So now I'm on a bulk, see how long that lasts. And then the good thing is with a clean bulk and understanding my macronutrients, my metabolism is going faster. I can feel the food like pulsing through me. It's not just like sitting in me. And what's that mean when like, so say, I'm working up my diet higher and higher to bulk up, and then at a certain point I want to stop bulking because you're in a calorie surplus, you're going to add fat. So then what happens? I'm going to cut, but what happens when I cut after my metabolism's been going so fast? The weight's just going to like melt off. I'm just going to shrink. And been doing pretty good about all that. It was fun yesterday at the Embassy Suites by LAX. Just being able to take the metro and the bus there. Of course, I think the metro should lead straight there. And there should be even more buses running and bus options and bus lanes. And we're destroying the earth. We're destroying ourselves with just cars and car infrastructure. so much of the ride around LAX, it's just all pavement. There's like nothing there. This is just space to get through to go somewhere else. I'm like, well, this is the result of car-oriented infrastructure. You don't have room everywhere to, like, you can't make enough space for parking for everyone, even though we have tons of parking and too much parking in a way, but every space has got to have its own parking. So as a result, some places they're just all pavement and road and huge like 6-lane roads and intersections, and you're just getting people through. As opposed to being places where people want to go to and stop at. And around LAX, it's like depressing to look at. All the stores are huge, and like they're meant to, they're like, they're meant for drivers to see. They're not like, they're driver scaled, not people scaled. So they have huge storefronts, and they're so like, they're only stores that are big chain stores that are soulless and underpay their workers and pressure them to use heavy-handed sales tactics, and they're the ones that can afford to pay for the huge parking lots around them. So all I saw was like, what is it? What's the one? Not In-N-Out. What's the one fast food chain? Not Carl's Jr. Maybe it is Carl's Jr. Yeah, maybe it was Carl's Jr. I forget. I used to go there when I was homeless on food stamps. But like Carl's Jr., Olive Garden, Target, Best Buy, Subway. It's like, what the hell? It's just soulless. But of course, these are the only places that can afford to be here, and they're not places you want to hang out at. It's like you drive up, leave your car, go inside, come back outside with your stuff, get in your car, and leave. So it's like antisocial. Because you can't like actually be around people. Like, you always have to be either going, buying something, or leaving. Why would you want to be around there? It's just huge building facades and concrete. So anyways, we got to get it together, people. Let's start a revolution. I'm doing a lot of writing lately. I've been so busy just doing all this stuff. I'm trying to watch 2 or 3 movies a week. Great for my film education. I'm like, I have to watch movies now. Like, this is, what am I going to do? Wait till I'm like 58 to really watch a lot of movies? I'm like, no, got to make time now. I've been going to the library, checking them out, buying them at flea markets. I should see what they have at Goodwill. I don't know, I've heard a lot of mixed things about the experiences at Goodwill around here. Both in terms of stuff being too high priced and like not good experiences with the employees. Very good stuff too. Google reviews. But yeah, it was a lot of fun going out to LAX. I was excited just to be going around like on public transportation. Whereas if I was driving, that wouldn't be fun. It's kind of hard to read on the bus. I don't get how people read on the bus. For one thing, yeah, it helps if you know your route, because I was, even though it was like 28 stops to get to LAX, like I was never really sure how close I was to there. And even then, I think I got off a stop early and I had to walk like an extra 5 minutes. But that was the GPS's fault. Or I don't know. I mean, it like the Google Maps planner, trip planner, it said like stop at this stop, and I'm like, whoa, wait, there's a stop right outside the hotel. And so I was constantly like not sure, when to pay attention, because you got to know the stop before, so you hit the button to let the driver know a stop's requested. What was cool is most of the way there, people weren't really getting off the bus much, so we were ahead of schedule, because I thought I was going to be late. I was really annoyed. But then it was like, oh, like 10 or 15 of the stops we didn't stop at, so we were just flying through there. And the buses, they don't stop unless somebody's at the bus stop and waves the bus driver sees them, or they wave them down, or unless you request to stop, because they're just going to stop everywhere for no reason. So that's really great. Yeah, a ton of riding, bike riding, rollerblading. I'm thinking of getting one today. The last salon I went to, really nice, but it was like too much. Like acting like my best friend in a way. And it's not to insult them, it's like I get it. Like very much get it. Like they're working hard, they're skilled, and they're not paid much. They have to earn tips. And I tip them nicely, but it's like they're acting like they're my best friend, complimenting me and stuff. Saying like, "Yay, Angelo! I hope you're moved. I see your name on the big screen." I'm not flattered by that. Like, just treat me like a normal person with my feet on the ground. And then they just automatically scheduled me for another appointment. So like, oh, I'd love to see how it looks in 6 weeks, and we'll get you set up. And went to pay, and they're like, okay, your next appointment is this day. 2 days later, I was so uncomfortable, and so I just waited like 2 days to say like, oh no, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to just make an appointment. And so I called back like 2 days later, cancel, and then oh yeah, and I'm like, I'm not going back there. Like they did a great job, but like why? I don't want these pressure tactics. But I guess it's like that everywhere, right? But I gotta find another salon to go to. I kind of do just want to cut it way short again, like I used to have it. It's just the annoying thing about that is when you get it really short, you have to like get it cut regularly. Otherwise, it starts looking like really sloppy. And at least when it's longer, you can wait like 2 or 3 months between haircuts. And depends if you want to keep growing it. But for me, I don't like it quite this long. I prefer it around the neck here. It's just like, one, you get split ends. And yeah, it just kind of becomes misshapen and awkward. All right, Basso's got to get going later. Bikes do so much for the environment. This is excuse me, Streets for All shirt. Also, I started eating avocados. I feel like so much better after eating those. What a difference it makes. Don't neglect getting nutrition from different types of foods. I've been eating the same food so long: oatmeal, chicken, bell peppers, lettuce, or cabbage, tuna, salmon. But like, I should mix it up. I've been starting to add some grapefruits, dates. Dates are great also. So you talked about not stinking up the toilet, taking dump. When I eat dates, it's just like to take a dump. It's just like bam, in and out, flush. That's it. Don't even need to wipe. I hope my allergies don't act up this much every day. It was so cool being out at the writers convention over by LAX. I'd love to have more excuses to go around on public transportation. I could. It's just I have to write a lot. Like there are other events I could go to, rollerblading events, biking events, concerts, whatever. I'd love to do it all, but I got to write. Oh, by the way, so I talked to my mom a lot. She's doing really well. She's trying to come to LA, but I don't know what that means for her. Like she's not good at making plans. Like so, we'll see. But she is doing well. We want to make videos. So maybe this summer she'll come visit. I do not want to go visit Virginia. It is not fun being back there. It sucks. And also, she really wants to come visit LA. So I know what Virginia's like, but she doesn't really know what LA is like. She was so scared to come here for a while, but she sees how much I enjoy it and how well I'm doing. So yeah, she wants to try it for herself. She knows, she says we're going to do a lot of stuff there here. We're going to be very busy. So I know she wants to come, but it's money thing, and then she won't let me pay for her to go. I've like I understand that clearly, and scheduling. It's just hard for her to get time to fly over here. And it's like most of a day to get to the airport, fly here, and then go to her hotel, and then same going back. So it's like not going to be a long trip. Well, we'll get a lot done. We'll get videos in there. Also, public transportation, it can be quicker than driving, absolutely can, and often is. And it also often is not, where I'll see like a trip by car is like 30 or 40 minutes, and then by public transportation it's like 2 hours, and you got to take like two different buses. It's like, yeah, it's like the bus drivers are doing their jobs. It's not like it's their fault. They're the ones actually getting us going, and they're the ones working all this overtime because there aren't enough bus drivers because the city doesn't pay enough for them and doesn't prioritize hiring them enough, or not so much just hiring, but paying them and giving them the support they need. I think if you're a bus driver or a metro operator, you should be able to comfortably live without roommates. That means you have to be able to afford your own place, and you have to be able to have a life and time off. And also, more people will ride after that. And also, I think we should just get rid of fares and ticketing. Just make it free. Because that just causes, well, first of all, a lot of things. It's actually very expensive to have the whole fare system, the fare infrastructure, the enforcement, which we pay so much and so many millions to the police for, and which disproportionately gets enforced among poor black and brown people. In other words, the people who need to get around the most, and who have been, the recipients of such a great deal of injustice, systemic as well as like acute. But also, it creates points of conflict for the operators and drivers. If a bus driver tells people to pay, and the bus drivers, whenever I've seen if people skip or they don't pay, they just let them on because they know it's not worth it. They'll literally like wave them on. If someone like can't pay, they're just like, come on, it doesn't matter, and that's good. But it's like, why bother with this? You could save money and get people around and make it a more equitable city, a better city to live in, where people can get to their jobs, get to the things they want to do, get to doctor's appointments, and also look for jobs. So many people were riding the buses during the pandemic when they were free, looking for work. It's like, how great is that? We should have that all the time. And we could pay for this stuff with our taxes and all that. Meanwhile, do drivers of private vehicles pay into the taxes what they get out of the roads by damaging them and having all this infrastructure spread out all over the city? No. It is a drain on us, whereas public transportation is a boon. private vehicles in large part. I'm not saying people shouldn't drive, just they're a boondoggle in that so many people have to spend all this money on private vehicles, and we're like, we have all these other long-term and hidden costs to driving and how we design our cities around cars that we like do to ourselves because we don't even give the options. Like, we don't provide the services, the public transportation and land use necessary for people to be able to get around and live without cars. I mean, in my neighborhood, it's beautiful to ride my bike in at night, but it's just freaking cars everywhere. And through my neighborhood, there are major boulevards that cut through, as well as there's the freeway around here. So it's like smelly, noisy, and on top of that, dangerous. And it's just like antisocial when you just see a street lined with cars so packed together, it's like a wall that you can't walk out, like cross from the sidewalk to the street on. I'm gonna charge the lights from my bike. But man, I can feel now like my metabolism like pushing all this food into my muscles. Stuff. It's weird to feel like I'm growing, but it's cool. And like I can visibly see, how it's changing me after I'm all out of breath. Changing me after being on a cut for a few weeks. And even longer than that, just like maintaining but not eating much. Ow. Man, I was talking about bus drivers should be able to have their own places. When am I going to have my own place? Boy, that's going to be weird. First time in my life. Eventually, I'll get to some point where I won't have roommates. But it's a shame that you got to be wealthy to do that. Or like, be very enterprising and be lucky and find the right opportunities. They're doing, decent enough job trying to build affordable housing in LA. but is nowhere near the demand for it. Rollerblading's getting pretty good. Still like improving. Like I'm learning how to jump now, and getting better at stopping. Like where I'm confident enough to ride out on streets where I'm not like on hills. And started kind of learning to skate backwards. Wish I could skate more. Just like I said, just busy writing a lot. Writing, reading. Been reading books lately. Read Dorothy Allison's Bastard out of Carolina. Wait, is it Bastard? Oh, yeah, Out of Carolina. A great book. Her language is amazing. And now I'm reading a collection of short stories. I'm actually on the last one called Trash, which is also really good. I love it. I just love seeing into these characters' lives. I'm like, man, I gotta read more, but I'm trying to watch more movies, doing all kinds of stuff. Trying to write movies. Who knows if I'll write a book someday? I don't know. I don't feel the need to now, but I don't know if I'll, like, it'll strike me at some point. Because that's how I came to want to make movies. It was like I was watching movies and analyzing them in high school and like watching them over and over again. And eventually I was just like, those are so, like, my favorite movies. They're so perfect, like Fight Club, Dark City. I was like, if I could do anything, I would make those. I just want to make Fight Club and Dark City over and over again. No, I wanted to direct. And then later, the desire to write just kind of bubbled out of me. It just kind of emerged within me. And when I said later, much later, like over 10 years later, I had no desire to write before that. I realized I wasn't being myself, and to be myself, I have to write. How cool is that? Oh boy. Interesting how I sleep differently too when I eat more. I sleep more restfully. One thing is I don't need to get up to go to the bathroom as much because I feel like the food absorbs the water in me. Whereas if I'm not eating much, yeah, the water goes through me much quicker. Oh, washing machine turned my shorts inside out. And also, when I sleep longer uninterrupted, I have such weirder dreams. So freaking weird. Intense. But that was funny. Yesterday, I just nodded off. I didn't really fall asleep long, but it was a nice rest. I love being able to fall asleep in a chair. And at that writers' conference, and dreamed that like I had written a parody of Ghostbusters and changed Peter Venkman's name to Peter Stankman. I'm like, that's the best way to write there is. Just fall asleep and write in your dreams. Not only that, I didn't even like write it. I dreamed I had read that I had already written it. Like, how do I do that more often? The crotch is like smoking on this. Man, these freaking shorts, Caterpillar shorts, I love them for skating, but they stain so easily. I got like sunblock on them, and they're still in there. It's still in there, whatever. At whatever salon I'll probably try to go to today, is it possible to just find one where they don't try and set an appointment for me automatically for next time? And they aren't all like, like, Angelo, so tell me what you do. And all, again, it's not even to put the person down. I really, like, shit. It's like, I feel bad, like, they're younger than me. And, like, they're obviously, like they've been trained, like, they need to do this to make money, and it's tedious work, and not everyone's gonna tip well, and that's how you make a lot of your money through that and sales. Of course, I wouldn't buy anything. I just only started getting like this like $5 or $6 like conditioner you don't have to rinse out from Target. I have no idea what kind of like hair moisturizer to use. Like I liked how my hair was treated when they like gave me a little hair moisturizer at the salon, but I'm like, it was like $36 for a little cap of it. Like, I'm not doing that. Then I started getting this like hair serum from Trader Joe's, but like it's a little bit too, too much like hair gel. It like bonds my hair a little too strongly. It's like, well, how do other people's hair just look like, hydrated and natural? I was at Target looking through all the hair products. I'm like, I don't know how to pick from any of this stuff. I don't feel like looking up every item on my phone. I didn't look up anything on my phone. I was just like, well, this one's cheap, and it appears to be like reasonably close to what I'm trying to get. hell happened to this shirt? There's like writing on here. I never noticed that before. Did it get like imprinted from like being pressed against something else? I don't know. All right, everyone, I'm gonna get going, finish up all this. So thanks for watching. Remember to iron your clothes. Damn it. Iron your clothes, clean your place, and eat right and all that. Get a haircut. This is a little too long for me. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.